Why do sequels have such a hard time not sucking?
Hello everyone, today we're doing another little indie film nobody's ever heard of called The Sequel by Jason Croot, a British director, and pretty new in the genre too. It is a little horror comedy about a director named Carlos who has directed a movie called Le Fear and is looking into making a sequel of that movie. And pretty much everything in the production of this film goes as wrong as you could possibly imagine it going wrong. There's a lot of things I liked about this movie, and there's a lot of things I didn't like as much about this movie. First things off is that the dialogue in this film is completely improvised. There is literally no script in there. And I was incredibly impressed by that, because the actors and the whole entire crew, the way they react to each other, it's honestly like you're watching really good improv comedy, and because it is done like that, it feels very real, and you really know everything, and you really feel that everything that is happening in the movie pretty much comes naturally. So the acting in this is pretty phenomenal. And also what I enjoyed were some creative ideas, especially in the humor. There were some jokes that really made me laugh out loud really hard in this one. And those were the things that generally really worked well with this movie. What I didn't like so much is the fact that this movie was shot on a micro budget. And I'm not talking about, hello, we're the Blair Witch Project, our movie just cost $60,000 to make. No, I'm talking about nothing. No money whatsoever was almost put into this movie. And the problem is that one can really see that at times. What I was especially bothered by was the fact that at the beginning and at the end of the film, our director Carlos is talking to some big ass movie producers, and you'd expect to have these really fancy, cool looking offices, and instead you get this really dark room, and it doesn't really feel real. It seems like this made-for-TV production because the design of the interior is very low budget. And what else really bothered me, there's also a part where during the production of the movie they make it look like chaos breaks loose at many moments of the film. And there's parts of it where things are supposed to explode and equipment is supposed to break and stuff like that. And it isn't convincing. You can't, the chaos never really feels like the chaos the movie wants you to feel. Between the actions of the crew, it totally succeeds. But when it comes to some technical aspects, like lighting a fire, making it look like part of the equipment is breaking down or stuff like that, then it doesn't really feel as chaotic as I think they intended it to make it feel. But nevertheless, this was actually pretty nice. It got a lot of laughs from me at times. And since the dialogue is completely improvised, the movie does tend to feel a bit long when the jokes don't hit their mark. Which doesn't happen often, but when it does, you're a little looking at the time, how long is this thing still going on? But it still works. Curious if Furious, who plays Carlos, is actually the most convincing one here. He plays that director with a huge vision of the perfect movie that he is yet to make so nicely, and the one who freaks out when something is going wrong to the point of a nervous breakdown. It really is sometimes pure comedy gold. But here's the thing. The comedy in The Sequel works so well when it works, that when it doesn't work, it completely throws you off. And you feel like you are watching a movie. You feel like you are watching an episode of Big Brother, but the people living in Big Brother are an improv comedy group. And that is the biggest problem with The Sequel. When the comedy hits flat, it hits totally flat, and that budget. Because there are times when you really notice that this movie was made on a complete micro budget. But otherwise, this is a good attempt for a small director making an indie film. I really believe that if somebody would throw just a bit more money towards this crew, that they would make something really, truly amazing happen. It beats watching Big Brother, that's for sure. So check out Le Sequel if you're into some improvised acting that really works well, and want to check out some indie films of directors that are going to be much bigger in the next couple of years than they are now.